When I posted my first video 10 years ago, wait, no, that can't be right. Fuck. Okay, well, that's a crisis for another time. When I posted my first video 10 years ago, I don't know what I thought would come of it. I know why I posted it. I said as much in the video.
I think that good content makes you want to make more good content. We watch something like Vlogbrothers and we think, hey, why are we not doing something like that?
I started to appreciate vlogging and I wanted to emulate what I was watching. And at that point, all you really needed for YouTube in 2011 was a camera and a computer. And I had those two things. It was a very accessible thing to start doing. And at the time, I didn't know if anybody would be watching. I didn't know if there'd be a second video. I didn't know that I'd end up making more than 25 videos for that channel or that I'd join a new collab channel afterwards. I didn't know my interests would bring me to VidCon in 2013 and again in 2015. I just wanted to try something. That I get, but why did I keep going? Why did I invest in lighting and microphones to try to make a better product? Who was I doing this for? There was a time that I would have made the argument that it's okay, even great, to create something that's just for yourself. But I don't think any of us really believe that. Maybe we want to have conversations we wouldn't normally have face to face, or maybe we want to deep dive into something we don't think we'd otherwise get the opportunity to talk about, but no matter what, to be heard. Like, I have to admit, when I went to VidCon, I fantasized about being someone up on one of those panels, like having people ask questions to you who want to hear what you have to say. And I think that's probably normal for people who start out on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok or wherever. We can try to play it cool, but we have a vision of success in some small way. We want an audience. The strange thing is that we sometimes even pretend that we have one. Even back in 2005, when I first started blogging, if I didn't post anything within a few months, I would post something that was like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't updated this in a while, as if there were two people out there who were just refreshing endlessly, waiting for some kid who stays up till 3 a.m. looking for advice from writers that will unlock the secret of writing a book. Like, they really just can't wait to hear what I have to say. But it's because we emulate. People with platforms feel a responsibility to them, so we feel a responsibility to ours, no matter how small. So why people post their first YouTube video and ask questions saying, respond to me in the comments, even though there's no one there to comment yet. It's why there are Twitch channels with 5 followers who are hosting giveaways thinking it's going to bring people in. When we start, we don't always know what things are actually attached to a given media form and what things we don't actually have to start thinking about until much further down the road. It's no wonder that making videos started to feel like an obligation, something I would sometimes feel guilty about and then come back to briefly before retreating again, that eventually I was probably going to walk away from entirely, like I had with writing. And if obligation alone isn't already a bad motivator, the process of doing this is boring. If you've never done this before, you might not have an actual idea of how it works, even for a small, simple video like this. I spent some time typing a script up just to sort my thoughts out ahead of time. Then I have to actually sit in front of a camera and read it, and talking to nobody is weird, and I'm probably never going to get used to it. And that's not even factoring in the amount of time it takes me just to actually finally press the record button on the camera, because I have to work up the nerve to actually get started. I also can't just read the page. I have to make some effort to feel engaging and conversational, and like I'm not just trying to memorize a few blocks of text at a time so the video isn't entirely made of jump cuts. See, this is what it would be like if I just read the script. That's real good media. So a 4-minute video might have 25 minutes of footage, maybe more. And I didn't even take any time to set up lights or sound in this instance because I couldn't be bothered. That's even more time that you have to put into it. And then after that comes the editing, which is almost entirely busy work. In every single video you'll ever edit, it's mostly just you listening to your voice over and over again to find the clips where you screwed up the least. It's mundane, it's not interesting, and you spend all that time for, 2 comments, 1 like, maybe a new subscriber. I can't tell you what it takes to feel worth it for any individual person, because it's going to be different for everyone, but I do know that there is some metric below which it doesn't feel worth it. And that metric is on my mind pretty much every time I start thinking about making videos. I became so preoccupied with the idea of that metric that for a while I didn't post anything to this channel. And I've initially made this channel because I wanted it to be more of a media-focused sort of video essay-style channel. So I thought I shouldn't post something that's more conversational and vlog-like because that's not what the channel was made for. I thought that might turn off someone who came to the channel for a particular kind of content, and holy shit me, that is not a problem you have to worry about right now. How did I let an audience that did not exist dictate the kind of content that I made? This is going to seem like an abrupt topic change, but over the past year, I've gotten really into home improvement, and this was not just a COVID lockdown project kind of thing. I started actually just before we got stuck at home all the time. And you know what? It's kind of boring too. I do most of the work by myself. Everything takes longer than I think it's going to, and if you think listening to your own voice over and over for hours is mundane, Wait until you try sanding drywall. But the thing about these projects is that you can see your progress, even if you make mistakes. From the moment I ripped out the first piece of drywall, everything I did had an effect. My basement bathroom looks like this right now, and you can tell immediately that I'm working on something. And I think I really love that tangible proof of effort. If I'm making a video, if I do 99% of the work, if I write, record, edit, but I just don't decide to post it, nobody ever knows. Until it's 100% done, I've effectively done nothing. But with home renovation, people can see at a glance that something is happening. So my point is, when I try to quantify it like this, I don't know why I'm still here. And yet I still want to be. I still have this stupid secret pipe dream that one day I may have an audience. And I don't really know how to reconcile my desire to achieve that against my desire to not spend my free time doing these things that are ultimately mundane while I'm doing them, against the dread that comes from feeling an obligation to something that's not supposed to be a responsibility. It's been 10 years, and I'm still making videos without knowing what it is I think I'm going to get out of them. And for some reason, I still can't stop thinking about doing it again.